When we designed our house out here on Piney Grove, we designed it so that we could take advantage of the view out the front. So there's our view out the front of the house. We sit in there all the time. We're editing videos, we're eating dinner. Whatever we're doing, we can look across the pasture and see that view. But here in our backyard, we wanted to maintain some privacy. So we've got our whole property ringed in pine trees so that we're not cleared from fence line to fence line. And when we designed the back of the house, we have a covered porch there, and we have the master bedroom and the master bathroom there. And we didn't want to put in those type of windows where you can't see through them, but they let light in. We use transom windows so that there's privacy. You can't see anything from, the neck down. Well, the more we've lived in the house, the more we realize that when we're on that side of the house, we would like a little bit more view instead of just the grass here on the hill. This area right here was really, really thick. You can't see through it now because these cedar trees have grown up, but it was so thick you couldn't see but a couple feet into there. And I got in there with the brush hog and I cleaned it up real well, starting to grow back now. But the idea was be able to see a little bit into these pine trees, but not be able to see into our neighbor's pasture. So what we've come to realize is that if we clear this out completely so that you can see all the way in between these pine trees, it's not going to create a lack of privacy because that's all pasture up there and our neighbors actually live through that thick stuff. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Baumalight mini skid steer with the forestry mulcher on the front, and I'm going to clean this up so that we can see our neighbor's horses from our bedroom window. Whenever I use this machine, I always wear the PPE that they provide with it, which is this helmet with this face shield and the integrated hearing protection, and then I also wear gloves all the time. But now that we're safe, let's go have some fun. So this is an awesome, super duper machine. Absolutely love using it. It's fun. It's fun to make videos with. It's fun to show you all how it works. The problem is that I should name it Squirrel, because I said I was going to do that behind the house, but I got over here and I was like, well, let me start here first. And that's the way it is with it. Once you start, especially with the forestry mulcher, once you start using it, you don't want to stop using it and you get off track. But I don't care. I got plenty of time today until it starts raining. So I'm going to get in here and start cleaning up here, work my way down the line to where we said we were going to start. I got all that done before the rain. I mean, we had a toad soaker come in, but I got quite a bit cleaned out. You can see how thick it is beyond there. I didn't get it perfectly done because I ran out of time, but look how much junk is on here. It brushes for real in Florida, guys. Can't even see the gauges. Radiator's pretty full too. Well, it's a couple days later and I'm finally getting back to doing this mulching. Yesterday we had to go to our old house, which still isn't sold yet, which has kind of got us stressed out a little bit. And we had to do yard work there. We had to trim the bushes, cut the grass, edge, string trim, all that stuff. That took us all day, plus the hour drive there and the hour drive back. And then all morning we've been getting the fall garden ready by starting our seeds and then also sharpening the blades on the Yocta mower so Deb can mow today, because everything needs mowing again every week or so. Things are moving fast here at Piney Grove. We almost got our first animal last week. We secured our sponsorship for some things that are going to help with our barn build. So that stuff is coming, and we found some miniature cows and baby doll sheep, I think is what Deb wants. And then they might have miniature horses as well. And it's like 15-20 minutes away. We found a place that actually has a bunch of those type of animals. And we're just scrambling between working on the barn, trying to keep up with the property, keep up with the appearance of the property, and then do projects like this too that need to be done. And it's just a lot going on. But back to what's going on here. Let me turn the camera around and show you. So it doesn't look very clean because of two reasons. One, I didn't chop up with the mulcher all of this bigger stuff. And it takes a lot of effort and a lot of back and forth with that. So I was in here the other day just kind of piling up what was hung up in trees and laying on the ground. You can see there's some big stumps here. There's a lot of big sticks here. And rather than stay in here and continue with the mini mulcher, I think what I'm going to do is be done with this and just keep moving down the line. And what I leave behind will be something like this. And I think a more efficient way to take care of it is to come in here with the wood chipper and a little chainsaw and cut off the limbs that might be slightly still attached, and then wood chip up all this brush here that's easy to get to. I think that's better than wasting, or a better use of my time than going back and forth and trying to mulch everything down perfect. After the rain subsided, I got the mini skid steer out of the woods, and I had burnt a lot of gas. This is the oil tank, but it's the same as the gas tank where it comes down to here, and I had burnt that much diesel fuel in it. So I got it filled up, and I also blew off all the big shards of wood and everything that were on it, checked the oil, and cleaned out the radiator. The radiator was plugged in certain places, but luckily with all that rain, it didn't get overheat or anything. There'll be a brief cameo by Mrs. Piney Grove. She's going to jump on the Yocta, and while I'm mini mulching, she's going to cut everything out there except for the center there on the right, which we're going to do hay. We're going to make hay again. We baled about 70 bales of hay, and we were going to give it to the neighbor, and just, a few bales of the neighbor. He didn't need all of it. And what we decided to do was see if we could sell it, just to see if there was a market for it. And in one day on Marketplace, we sold all 70 bales. And then Deb found the animals here locally, and we're like, oh man, we're going to need hay this winter. So instead of mowing everything, we're going to let it grow so that we can cut hay here. It's August, probably cut hay in October or so. So there is the back of the house we started talking about in the video. I'm not going to work over there anymore. I'm going to set the camera up here so you have time lapse and you can just watch this all clear out. And that'll give us a good view from the back of the house over to our neighbor's horse pasture. Deb switched machines on us here. She's driving the Kubota diesel now. And I think it's because I just sharpened the blades on the Yocta, and I told her in any rough areas where there's a lot of sand and debris to use the Kubota, because I didn't just sharpen the blades on it. So I think that's what she's doing. She's doing the rough areas there around the house because we haven't planted new grass there or sodded. But I think this was the prime demonstration of where this machine excels, and that's in between pine trees or any tight spaces like this, and areas that have already been mowed down. So I'd been in here with a brush hog. All of it was really thick like it is in the background there. Some of that has never been touched since we owned the property. It was probably, or it has probably been growing since these pine trees were planted, which was probably 15 years ago. So when you look at that old growth brush like we were in the beginning of this video, that machine just can't power through it. You get trunks that are 2 and 3 inches thick, and it just can't process it. It can cut it off, but it bogs the machine down. And then when you try to mulch up the whole tree, it just can't do it, and it takes a lot of time, which is why we jumped over to this spot. But this area I got in here with my brush hog and just really chewed it up, and the only places I didn't hit were the places that were close to the trees. So that was 3 years ago, let's say. So that 3-year growth, this thing gobbled it right up, man. The Baumalight mini skid steer with the forestry mulcher had no problem on that. Now let's go over here more towards the neighbor's horse pen on this front side where it's really thick. And even though I did a lot of work, it just doesn't look like it because it's not totally mulched up. So that's the pasture that we're trying to see from the house. And you can see there, well, there's the white house right there. So I still got to clean this up. There's only like 10 more feet left there to do. But I came out over here, and you can just see how tall and thick that stuff is. And when you knock it down, like here's some 2-inch thick brush, and there was 2 stumps here. There was one there and one there. I think I stalled the machine once there. And you knock it over, and then you try to process all that, and it's just a lot of back and forth, back and forth. The cedar trees, especially the trunks, if you're doing any small trunks, it's really hard to process them. But the branches, I'm trying not to hit with the mulcher because it really makes them ragged. I'd rather hit them clean with the chainsaw. But this stuff here, like some of it is 3 and 4 inches thick. And I got the Baumalight on, not the engine running, but just with it on, just so the fans can cool it down. But I've been working on this area for a while. I made a little trail through here. And you can see the carnage. That's about 3 fingers thick. So a good 2 inches, and it's just really hard to process it. You can see the cut marks in it. And this in here, the sunlight's hitting the ground, which it hasn't done in years and years, but it's still very messy in here. It's not as clean as that other area. And now as we come out to that other area, you see Deb is gonna go by right there with the Kubota. So that's the lawn. That area there is nice and clean because it was younger and smaller and it could really chew it up. But I'm not gonna try and make all this thick look like that over there. I got better machines for that, like the chipper, and I can actually get some value out of some of these thicker tree trunks that are on the ground. The Baumalight is right there. You can see the yellow right there. So I got that thick area, work this a little, and that other area over there, and I'll have this knocked out. Well guys, the sun is setting. I'm exhausted and also dehydrated, but this came out absolutely perfect. Now I'm gonna walk around with it in the background, and I did make a few mistakes. There was one time I backed over a pine tree, and it was a little pine tree, so I went ahead and mulched that up. There's the trunk of it's left over there. And I hit a few of these bigger pine trees that I do want to keep, just because like sometimes the side of the machine, which is hard metal, would be against a tree and I wouldn't know it, or I would back into a tree. So there'll be marks like this on some of the trees, and that's from the thing on top of the mulcher, I guess the tree pusher. But I was as careful as I could be, and I hope the camera's picking it up behind me. It is just phenomenal, the amount of work that I did with that 25 horsepower mini skid steer. So I don't know if you can see here, but there is a good, I would say 2 feet difference in elevation. There's like a little berm right here. And there was a bunch of brush there and some oaks that I wanted to save. And one thing a mini skid steer does not appreciate, and that is any kind of elevation changes. You can see that ledge right there, it's 2 feet or so. 2 feet on that mini skid steer is like falling off a 40-foot cliff. I'm worn out. My upper body's worn out from holding on places like that. So there's the horse pasture there, and all of this here is what we've worked on in this video. I figured a more dramatic picture might be if I'm back here at the horse pen. This fence that Deb and I put up a couple years ago. There's like 9 videos on this fence if you want to check it out. But I'm going to stand right here, and there's our house, and here's the fence. Remember, you could not see through that. I'm going to zoom in, and there's our back porch where we grill, master bedroom, and now we can see all the way to the pasture. And that's just phenomenal work, I think, in one day. Just testimony to how powerful these modern machines are, and that thing's all run off of hydraulics. It's ready to be brush hogged for a couple seasons in here, and then you'll be able to mow in here with a regular mower. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video, folks. We sure appreciate you watching. Click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, y'all take care out there, and remember, life's short, tractor hard. Check out these 2 videos up here that are going to pop up in the corner. They're pretty cool too. Take care, y'all.